golden breed Mister Motocross has been a savagely fought series. It all began at the Tivoli circuit in Queensland. The weather was hot, the track hard-packed and dusty, and twice Mister Motocross champion Anthony Gunter was invincible.
Gunter now moving down towards the S-Bends, hard on the brakes. Sporting the beautifully coloured Pepsi Cola jacket on this brilliantly coloured yellow Suzuki. Has a look over the shoulder, no one within sight of him. Anthony Gunter, Mister Motocross 1977 as he goes around the big sweeper down the back part of the circuit, about to come up through Pepsi Cola.
Places as they take this second heat. Anthony Gunter in the lead, Stephen Gall second, and young Mark Pace on the 250 Honda has now moved up into third position in the second heat of Mister Motocross.
The first corner at Tivoli is a tunnel, narrow and dangerous. With nerves raw, the hard-packed field of riders found it an almost insurmountable obstacle.
Looks like they could have been Peter Boyle.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 down. Everywhere. There's one bike down, two bikes down, three bikes down.
Watch South Australian rider Ken Bowie in the middle of this melee. '20-year-old Sydney rider Stephen Gall seemed out of contention during round one. Everything possible went wrong.
Corner. Gall in a great deal of trouble now because up behind him comes Mister Motocross 1977 and wants to make it 78. That's Anthony Gunter. Gunter coming up the outside. Under brakes, they go through the S-bend. Mike Lamman now in a great deal of trouble as Stephen Gall and Anthony Gunter sitting right on them. Mike Lamman, then followed by Gall and Gunter. Gunter up the inside and he's got Gall. Gunter now moves into second position. Gunter now moves into second position with Gall relegated back into third.
First, his bike stopped.
And would you believe Stephen Gall, inside of the checkered flag after falling on the first lap, has stopped. He's stopped, he's kicking the bike, he's about 200 metres back from the start, and now he's pushing his bike. He's torn his goggles off, torn off his visor, and he's now pushing the bike to the start. 1, 2, 3 riders go past him. Look at him, the man's exhausted. He's ridden somewhere in the region of 18 laps of this circuit, fallen off, his insides are hurting, and he's pushing the bike. He wants to get to that start because if he can get there soon, he might pick up 1 or 2 points, and it'll make all the difference in the motocross series when it reaches Amaroo Park in September for the grand final. His pit crew running beside him now, and he's got it. He's got the checkered flag.
You say about Hart, he's got a heart as big as this country.
He's collapsed. He's history. Oh, that's Stephen Gall, the man with the biggest heart on the circuit. Look at him at the moment. But I'd reckon he's in about 8th, 9th, or maybe 10th position, and maybe that's 1 point.
Despite this gallant effort, Gall finished 11th in the heat, out of points contention. Then Gunter, storming through the field, went straight into Gall's Yamaha, forcing both of them to a halt.
It's Anthony Gunter snapping at the back wheel of Stephen Gall. Now Gall's machine, all it's got to do is hold together for another 3 laps, and he's got this one shot to pieces. Up the inside comes Anthony Gunter. Gunter trying a big inside pass up round Castrol. Not quite good enough. Stephen Gall manages to kick it out, down over the jump in the main straight, down towards the S-bend.
1 minute 21.6 seconds, a new lap record to both riders now. And it's both of them down. No, Gall's up, Gunter's come down. His bike's caught in the back of Gall's bike. Gall can't get moving. Gunter's pulled it out now. The first rider has gone through, 2, 3. So they're both now trying to kickstart their bikes. Gall's off in 4th position. Gunter's still trying to kickstart. He's back into 7th position at this stage. Gunter ran right up the back of Gall, and he's away in 8th spot. 8th spot on the from the start. So it's Anthony Gunter off in 4th position, and Anthony Gunter in 8th position, and Stephen Gall back in about 4th.
At the end of a hard-fought day, Anthony Gunter led the series by just 1 point from Stephen Gall and 19-year-old Mark Pace on the 250cc Honda. From Queensland to the second round at Wallen in Victoria, it was freezing, and the track, twisting and turning up a sheer mountainside, was muddy.
Now, coming up now, it's Stephen Gall. Gall now leads from Gunter, and Mike Landman, number 45, in the picture in 3rd position.
Bikes all over the hill now as they stream up into the next corner, but they're our leaders, and it's Stephen Gall. Stephen Gall's lost it, and Anthony Gunter's back in the lead with Mike Landman hard pressing. Gall's given it away. Gall had a big problem just before the start of Mister Motocross. He blew his gearbox in a preliminary event, and he had to put a new engine in the bike. And in fact, by the look of it, because Gall was just sitting disconsolately beside his bike, and it looks like Gall's out of it, his new engine has not worked.
It was Pelle Granquist country. The pace of the series and the state of the track claimed its victims. Victorian Mike Landman on the Millage Motocross Yamaha was the first to go.
But look at Landman going round the outside. Landman's got other ideas about this sort of action in this one. He's down.
Oh, there's a big fall.
Mike's in all directions.
Of them down, and it's Landman down. Landman's fallen. Landman, the winner of Heat 1, has tried desperately to win Heat 2, and instead he's brought himself down and brought a couple of the other field with him. And there's Stephen Gall, 21-year-old Stephen Gall from Sydney, out in the lead in the second heat of Mister Motocross. Landman receiving treatment there. He's down and he's hurt. It's very rarely that a rider will hurt himself too badly in motocross, but Landman was trying so dreadfully hard up that big hill.
Then went Mr. Motocross, Anthony Gunter, crashing from contention. It looked like Granquist's day.
Oh, doesn't this big Swede come good when he gets warmed up?
It's serious business, this Mister Motocross.
Gall,
Stephen Gall is the one that's really treating it as super top business. Granquist wants a share of the action. He wants a share of the money too. And he's trying and pressing Gall all the way up the TAA hill there. Round they go. And right in each other's slipstream, as it were, as far as Granquist is concerned. But the clean number plate, Stephen Gall, the leader at this stage.
Motocross, Anthony Gunter, way back, has passed Trevor Flood, but he's still out of major contention. There's the leaders. Stephen Gall, Pelle Granquist. Stephen Gall still in the lead. Gall trying oh so hard, but look at Granquist on this 390 Husqvarna. Such a big man on the bus.
Such an expert rider too, John. We know that he came to Australia only recently, was treated firstly as a C rider, and then all of a sudden they found that he was a little bit better than that, and we can certainly see the prowess of Pelle Granquist, number 78 there, hot on the tail of Stephen Gall.
Ball's inside him. This is it. Granquist takes the lead. Granquist takes the lead in the motocross as they come back onto the main straight. Granquist through.
Well, now it's Stephen Gall's turn to get some mud on that number plate as Granquist leads the field and leads it very convincingly indeed.
But young Stephen Gall had other ideas. In a charging, heart-stopping run, Gall stormed into major contention.
Here comes Stephen Gall once again along the front banana straight here of Wallen. Oh, jumping all over the place. The bike bouncing from one side of the track to the other. Not worrying him in the slightest. The cable, which has obviously come off the machine, seems to have disappeared completely. So it's a wheel stand to the finish for Stephen Gall. There's the check flag. Stephen Gall takes out another round here at Amaroo Park, Wallen.
When it was over, Anthony Gunter still held the narrowest of points leads, but Stephen Gall and Pelle Granquist had moved into major contention. The third round, Adelaide, the Clarendon circuit, and more mud. This time, no one could beat Granquist. He won the first three heats at a gallop, then crashed in the fourth.
Granquist there, you can see how he gets down over the back wheel, getting the power down, keeping the front wheel up, dabs that apex. He's such a consistent rider. He rides almost exactly the same line on every lap, and that's despite mud, bumps, and underneath this mud there's a hard rock base, which again is very, very difficult for the riders to manage. Sometimes they do find the rock base and it can really throw them, but Granquist handling so easily. There's Stephen Gall back in third position, taking it far more easily.
Gall realising at this stage, it's so close to the final flag, there's no point in overdoing things and prepared to settle it out for this leg, waiting for the next leg. And it's all Pelle Granquist, number 78. Granquist going around the outside of riders. Makes no difference, inside or outside, he just seems to go through whatever way.
A third of a lap to go. Granquist coming round now, round the Pepsi quarry for the first time. He's only got just a few hundred yards to go, a few hundred metres, the last jump, and here comes Granquist. There's the checkered flag for Pelle Granquist, winner of the first round of Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross at Clarendon in South Australia.
Stephen Gall, floundering in the quagmire conditions, seemed to have the last heat sewn up. But then came a charging run from motocross veteran Trevor Flood.
But there is the leader of Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross, Stephen Gall, on the last lap. His bike hopping all over the track, but he's in the lead, and it looks like he's now unchallenged to win this crucial fourth and final heat of Mister Motocross today.
Only a short distance to go now for number 2, Stephen Gall, to take out this fourth leg along the short straight.
Oh, and Flood's right up there. Gall backed off so far that Trevor Flood has caught right up. Now it's Gall and Flood side by side, and Flood goes in the lead. Gall and the last corner. Who can win? And it's Flood. over the lead and wins the final heat of Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross. Stephen Gall in the second position. What a turn-up for the looks. Trevor Flood came from nowhere to win Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross, leaving Stephen Gall in second position. Gall must be so upset. He just didn't expect it. He was easing off, taking it easily. And then all of a sudden, from nowhere, comes hard experienced Trevor Flood. Yet Gall's so upset. He didn't know. He's just sitting there now. He's so upset because he thought he had it in the bag. And all of a sudden, Trevor Flood came up and he stole it from him. Stephen Gall couldn't pick himself.
Nonetheless, Gall had taken the series lead. He can't afford to let Granquist get in front of him. Coming up after this break, Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross from Amaroo Park. And now Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross for 1978. In the lead on 119 points, 20-year-old Sydney rider Stephen Gall riding Yamaha. Behind him on 107 points, the Super Swede, Pelle Granquist on Husqvarna. Then in third position, the original Mister Motocross, the winner of the series in 1974, Victorian Trevor Flood, also on Yamaha. And then the current Mister Motocross champion, winner of the series for 2 successive years, Anthony Gunter. Now, after a successive series of crashes, almost in an impossible position on 88 points. Mister Motocross in 1978 has taken a huge toll on riders. Young Mark Pace, the 19-year-old Sydney rider, is racing today with a broken leg. Mark Pace, you've been riding a 250cc machine against the 400s. You've done everything. You've tried so hard. You've crashed, you've burnt, you've done just about everything but give your soul for the sport. Now you're riding with a broken leg. What can you hope to achieve today?
Well, it's the last round of Mister Motocross, the grand final, and it's possibly the best chance that you have of impressing sponsors for the up-and-coming season. If you do well on today, your bad performances throughout the year are forgotten.
Anthony Gunter, you're in fourth position in the Mister Motocross Championship today, almost hopeless in fact. What can you do to win at this stage?
The only thing I can do to win it is for Steve to not finish a couple of races and Pelle not finish a race.
Well, it seems pretty hopeless. Can it come off?
Well, anything's possible in Mister Motocross, but I doubt it very much.
What do you do today then? Do you ride covering tactics for Stephen Gall, or do you go out to win yourself?
Well, I'll be going out to win and also to try and get in the first 3.
Across 4 races this afternoon, each of 6 laps on the tight, twisting Amaroo Park circuit. The tension mounting now as the riders come up to the grid positions. They race from a tape here. The tape snaps away in front of the riders, and they're away facing an enormous jump, less than 20 metres from the start.
They reach speeds of about 60 miles an hour before they go into the 180-degree hairpin at turn 1. And that corner,
okay, they're starting. Less than a minute to go now for the first heat of Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross. 4 heats this afternoon, each of 6 laps. They'll have to lap at about 60 seconds a lap. That's an average speed of getting on to 60 miles an hour. Buck 23 on the far right of the circuit, Chris Dixon from New South Wales. Starter Neil Head has them now in his hands.
Top contenders.
There's one and they're going. They're racing in the first round of Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross. It's Stephen Gall in the lead. Trevor Flood in second position. And there's Anthony Gunter high on the berm on the outside, but back in the field. Stephen Gall in the lead in Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross. And already a commanding lead.
Looks like Trevor Flood in second place, John, and Graham Smythe, the West Australian, in third place. But it's all Steve Gall at the moment. He's really dialed into this racetrack today. It's got it written all over it, his name written all over the track, and he's in line for his biggest win ever. What a magnificent start. That first corner, he made the race from the start line right up to the first corner, got there in front, and then said, cut out of the opposition.
To win Pepsi Golden Breed Mister Motocross today, the Super Swede, Pelle Granquist, has to win virtually every round, and there's no way that the flying Stephen Gall is going to let him. Gall already round for the first lap through the chicane, now moving up to the first jump again for the first time. And there goes Stephen Gall.
Graham Smythe third, Mark Pace fourth, Anthony Gunter fifth, and where's the Swede?
Granquist back in 7th position in the motocross, way back. Nothing is stopping Stephen Gall today. He's dialed right into it.
stopped. Gall has stopped his bike. Gall is out of the motocross. Something has gone wrong with Stephen Gall's bike, and he has stopped. The whole thing has just slowed down. Well, I saw smoke coming out of the bike on the first lap. There's Trevor Flood in the lead, but Stephen Gall, oh, what terrible luck. Now, so there's Trevor Flood now in the lead. But where does this leave Stephen Gall? His handlers are taking the bike back. He does have a practice bike here. Will he change to it is the question. Now, Stephen Gall has only 12 points lead over Pelle Granquist. Trevor Flood is back in third position on 102 points. That's 17 points behind Stephen Gall. There's Stephen Gall running back across the track now. He's so upset. He's so annoyed. Stephen Gall, he can just see Mr. Motocross slipping out of his hands. There are 15 big points to the winner of this round, even if Pelle Granquist keeps his present position, which he isn't because he's moving up. He's now in the 6th position. Pelle Granquist is picking up all sorts of points now, and Stephen Gall is in big trouble with 3 heats remaining. There goes Trevor Flood in the lead and looking secure for 15 big points in the first heat of Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross this afternoon.
Graham Smythe in second place, the West Australian former Kawasaki rider who cleaned up Australia's best over there in Western Australia at a local meeting, and now he's made the Mr. Motocross series in the last round. And look at him fly there in second place behind the talented Victorian Trevor Flood. That's Graham Smythe. Behind Graham Smythe is 19-year-old Mark Pace now making a move around the outside of Smythe, but Smythe on the right line there is
Trevor Flood.
So that's Smythe now from WA in first place, from Trevor Flood Victorian in third place on bike number 13. That's Mark Pace. Pace now on camera.
Stephen Gall so happy that Graham Smythe is in the lead, because as the lead rider in this motocross, he has very little points at all in the series. That means he'll claim the big points, possibly, and that will keep Stephen Gall just that much further ahead on points. But now, here comes Mark Pace on the Kentucky Fried Chicken Honda. Mark Pace, the 19-year-old Sydney rider, now moved up into second place. He's only on a 250cc machine, and he's riding with a broken leg. Mark Pace moving right up into second place now. That's 12 big points. And Mark Pace, such a good young rider, and so keen right now to show that he can win Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross. Pace takes the berm, takes a look behind him to see if anyone's there, and no one's in third place as far as he's concerned. Pace, this new bike built by Tony Hatton for him today. He's never ridden this bike before. It's only 250cc's, but it produces immense power, and it's staying with the big 400cc Yamahas and Suzuki on this tight Amaroo Park circuit. Anthony Gunter up into third position. Existing Mr. Motocross champion Anthony Gunter now moves up into third position in the motocross.
Steve Gall is back in the race, but a long way off the pace.
There's Mark Pace. Oh, such a good ride from this young man. Remember that he's got a broken right leg, and yet he's riding so forcefully.
Known as the Colonel in motocross circles because of his sponsorship by Kentucky Fried Chicken. Gall now out of it. He's back into the pits for a second time in this heat. And there's the leader, Graham Smythe from Western Australia, making a late run in the Mr. Motocross series. He has been here at Amaroo Park before. We first saw him at Amaroo Park 2 years ago in the grand final of the Mr. MX series, and from that appearance he gained the Kawasaki sponsorship.
Smythe up the main straight for the last time. He's now on his last lap. Graham Smythe from Western Australia, sponsored by Clem Nunn. Smythe has no points in the Mr. Motocross series, so he is not in contention for the outright championship. However, by claiming the 15 big points today in this first heat, he puts Stephen Gall in just that marginally better position, because Gall has 119 points. He's 12 clear of Pelle Granquist from Sweden, and Granquist can now only claim a maximum 12 points in this heat. Granquist back in 5th position in the motocross at this stage. That would give Granquist 6 points. He draws 6 points closer to Stephen Gall with only 3 rounds remaining. Smythe almost bogs down there in the dirt, but he's away again. Here he comes into the chicane through the S's for the last time, and Graham Smythe, the big Western Australian, takes the first round of Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross here at Amaroo Park. In second position, Mark Pace on the Kentucky Fried Honda in third. Twice most Mr. Motocross champion, Anthony Gunter, and in fourth place, Pelle Granquist, the Super Swede, here at Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross. Granquist looks behind him, but he doesn't need to know who's behind him. He knows he has to know who's in front. Granquist now has only 2 laps to catch Stephen Gall. The back of Granquist's bike moving all over the track. Granquist now trying everything he knows. But there's Stephen Gall. Gall jumping as well. Granquist maybe 200 metres behind now. Granquist 200 metres behind Gall. 2 laps remaining. Something's got to go wrong with Gall's bike for Granquist to overhaul the lead. But Granquist not giving up. Gall looks back. He sees Granquist. He's moving hard. Gall in the last round in Adelaide was overtaken on the last corner of the last lap by Trevor Flood. He's determined this time it's not going to happen again. And there goes Gall over the line. 1 lap remaining for Gall. Here comes Granquist. Through the S's coming up the straight now. Granquist. 6 seconds the difference and only 1 lap remaining. It's impossible for Pelle Granquist to catch Stephen Gall. But he's catching Graham Smythe so hard. Granquist moving right up on Smythe. That's the pace now that Pelle Granquist is pulling out. He's catching right up on Smythe. But there's bike 2, Stephen Gall. 6 seconds, down to 5 now. 5 seconds separating Granquist and Gall. But now Gall has Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross for 1978 in the bag. Only 3 corners to go. Come on, Stephen Gall from Team Pepsi and Yamaha.
What a way to do it. On the canvas with a DNF in the first heat, come back for 3 wins. Stephen Gall now through the chicane and he's onto the chute for the last time. Up goes the front wheel. Get it up there, Steve. One hand off the bar. Terrific
the winner of Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross for 1978, 20-year-old Sydney rider Stephen Gall. The new champion. The crowd going mad. People coming out to shake his hand. The crowd beating the barriers, the flag marshals. Normally the quietest of men going wild for Stephen Gall. A very popular win indeed. Given the championship back to Yamaha after 2 years in the wilderness, Stephen Gall. A young man with a huge future in front of him.
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. He's looking at other facets of motorcycle sport. He's reached the top now in motocross, and he's so bike-orientated that Steve wants to try road racing. He's going to try and get himself into the 1978 Castrol 6-hour race, which is a road race here at Amaroo Park on October 22nd, and his riding partner for that event will be Chris Dixon, who is also competing in motocross today.
And the points, Stephen Gall, winner of Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross for 1978 on 164 points. In second position, Pelle Granquist on 130 points. Sorry, in second position, Trevor Flood from Victoria on 131 points, and Pelle Granquist in third place on 130 points. Gall now being congratulated by Mike Robinson, one of the promoters of Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross, and his team now takes over. Gall near exhaustion, the strain and the effort of it all, just so much for him. The relief now. And we'll be back shortly for the presentation of the 1978 Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross Championship. Golden Breed Mr. Motocross for 1978, Stephen Gall. Stephen on 164 points. In second position, Trevor Flood on 131. And in third position, the Super Swede, Pelle Granquist on 130 points. Stephen, congratulations. I didn't think you'd do it after that first round.
No, well, the first one really worried me. I just don't know what happened to the bike. It just cut completely, but I got my act together in the other 3 and it turned out great.
How do you feel now?
Oh, very good.
Stephen, to present you with the other winners, the State Minister for Sport, Recreation and Tourism, Mr. Ken Booth.
And the big one, of course, the big cheque for $2,500 big dollars. And of course, Mister Motocross, the trophy itself. There it is. Looks just like Stephen Gall, doesn't it? And he'll hold that for 12 months. In second position, Trevor Flood from Victoria. Trevor, you won by just, well, you came second by just 1 point from Pelle Granquist. How was it today?
Oh, it was pretty good. I haven't ridden so worse for a long time, actually. I was very surprised to get up here. But the last race we were heading into, I knew I was 8 points ahead of Pelle, and I took it a bit easy, and I just made it in. Thanks very much.
Pelle, you tried so hard today. It was one of the best exhibitions of motocross that we've seen from anybody for so much time. That last round when you got stuck right into it and tried so hard to catch Stephen, how do you feel now?
Well, I'm pleased I come third. I did as good as I could.
You happy to see Stephen win?
Yeah, he was the best. And he's been he's been trying hard all the races, and he had some bad luck and managed to still win.
Stephen Gall, again, 1978 is your year, Pepsi Golden Breed Mr. Motocross champion. Let's hear it for Stephen Gall. Mr. Booth now giving Trevor Flood his second prize of $1,000 and for Pelle Granquist a cheque for $500. Mr. Booth, you'd like to say something, I think.
Thank you very much, John. Just briefly, Stephen, I don't think anyone would leave this park this afternoon not convinced after all the series, the most exciting racing today, that you deserve Mr. Motocross for 1978. Congratulations, you've proved it time and time again over the series, and once again today. You've had a second and a third on 2 previous occasions. Congratulations all round, and let's hope you come back 79 fitter and better for the occasion.